All right, right here in Las Vegas on the final day of RLA, I have the one, the only, Nabil Nasr. I watched his keynote earlier. It was about an hour, and he was smooth all the way through. Nasr, nice to have you here. How you feeling?
Nice to meet you. Very well, thank you.
Excellent. So what brings you here? By the way, REMADE Institute is your group, and what brings you here? What's your involvement with REMADE?
So I am the founding CEO of the REMADE Institute, and the REMADE Institute is a federally funded institute that is a consortium that is focused on advancing the transition to circular economy in the US. So we're more of a technology organization trying to address a lot of the knowledge gaps in the field and making sure that we actually develop a technology that are sound and that can be implemented, that can help our industry move in the right direction in this area.
So you're almost a mentor in a way of sorts for our industry, I would say. It's good to have you here. How is it to be here in person?
I think it is wonderful actually to be here and meet a lot of people here. There is so many talents and so many new industry or service organization that being developed. And I think it is really great to see that growth in the industry and also to see the focus from the large companies on this area. So it's great, very terrific to connect with people and learn from each one on what's going on in their field and their own organization.
Excellent. And just like a circular economy, relationships with your industry peers as well can be kind of a circle, right? Because they're getting the advantage from interacting with you as you're getting that advantage as well.
Yeah, we all learn from each other. Yeah, this is great. And that's why meeting face-to-face is very important.
I like that. So I watched your keynote. I have a couple questions and topics kind of based on that keynote. Before I get into it, when you went into this keynote preparing that data, it was a lot of excellent stuff. If you guys have a chance to see it somehow, I don't know if the content's out there, but it's a great keynote. What in your mind were kind of the main key overall message or / messages that you wanted to get out during that keynote?
I think the key is that, in my message is that I think it is so important to push the envelope in a lot of this area. To come up with solutions based on what we know today isn't enough. There are a lot of opportunity for us to advance our knowledge and our technology in areas that allow us to make a lot more money and a lot higher value from what we bring back than we do otherwise. So it's very important to ensure that we are continually advancing our knowledge, our technology in areas that are critical for our industry.
I learned a new acronym today, VRP, Value Retention Process, or processes, as a matter of fact, in the plural. Would you like to touch on that, and where was the inception of that term?
So I'm a member of the United Nations Environment Program International Resource Panel, and I led this project on circular economy. And we struggled with what to call processes that are not recycling, the refurbishment, the repair, the remanufacturing. So we use the term circular processes, but that included recycling. We tried to distinguish the processes that actually, instead of smelting, the components, to actually take those components and reuse them through refurbishment, remanufacturing. And that term, value retention processes, was the best descriptor for this kind of work: refurbishment, repair, remanufacturing. So it is a description for all of these processes that are different. They're all circular, different than recycling.
Now, digital remanufacturing, I feel like it means a little bit something different to different people. Can you kind of speak to that topic a little bit?
Yeah, so remanufacturing is a really great industry in the U.S., where we have close to like 80 billion a year industry in the U.S. And we're very traditional in this industry. We do a lot of things with solid know-how and processes. And what we're doing with digital remanufacturing is really try to bring a lot of the advanced technology, automation, robotics, and vision system, and many of the advanced processes in Industry 4.0 to many of those traditional processes to ensure that we get much higher value, higher volume, and higher efficiency for the remanufacturer. So it is more modernizing what we do in remanufacturing.
Is there a lot of resistance you have to get past out there?
No, we haven't seen resistance. I think we have seen concerns about how much is that going to cost, how long would it take. which are all legitimate questions, and there is a lot of customization. So depending on the sector you're in, depending on the industry you're involved in, there's a customization for the solution that are applicable to some of those sectors.
A statistic that really could keep a lot of us up at night, and does keep a lot of us up at night, is that statistic I saw in your presentation where it's talking about basically a lot of manufacturers are reclaiming 4 cents to the dollar on a lot of their products and materials. What's up with that? What do we do about that?
I think a lot of the challenges that we have in the recovery side, like let's say plastics, for example, the purity of the material and the market value of this material isn't high enough. As a result, what we end up recovering to come back to the manufacturing stream is a lot lower than it should be. So in some of those plastic materials, for example, the ratio is 9%, which means that the rest basically is not being utilized, going to landfill and other forms of energy recovery and so on. So a lot of it because of the lack of technology that allow us to recycle some of this material effectively and be able to bring it back to the manufacturing stream. So that's the kind of stuff that we're focused on at the REMADE Institute.
It's very, very important stuff. Let's touch a little bit quickly. We're speaking kind of a bit, we're starting to venture into the more sustainability side of the concepts. You were mentioning natural resources are being used, and this is globally, I believe the figure was,
right.
about 3x since the 70s, about 3 times the natural resources from this planet. And does that include everything? Is that like a tree, water? Does that, rare earth mineral? Does that all that count as a resource?
I think a lot of it is talking about natural resources, and the challenge is that this is an average for the natural resource utilization. The fact is that our planet capacity to provide material in a sustainable fashion, so meaning that we continue to have the supply of this material, is the one that's being challenged. And that's where some of this discussion, a lot of people say we need 2.8 planets as productive as Earth to satisfy the demand to ensure that we are in a sustained mode. So I think it speaks to a lot of the challenges that we have, and it speaks about the challenges that we might face in the future if we are not able to bring some of our material consumption to the appropriate level. And one of the things a lot of people do not realize is that most of the emission and waste in manufacturing and making product happens during material extraction. So we use a lot of energy in making product. Most of that energy goes into the material extraction, and most of the waste is come also from that phase of material extraction. So the more we can do to recycle material or reduce our raw material consumption, the more sustainable, the more sustainable practices that we would have dealing with environmental challenges.
That's excellent. One last question, or just topic, if you will. Can you speak to, all this we've kind of touched a little bit around this, but what about the idea of a regenerative, I can't speak today, regenerative system as part of the, closed loop economy? What do you think?
I think that's really the ultimate goal, is to have a regenerative system to ensure that we are using material wisely. It's supply and demand. And we need to watch for our ability to have enough supply for us in the future of those materials. So that regenerative economy is that kind of model that theoretically looking into how do I achieve this and what is the best way to get there.
I think I need some regenerative speech, apparently, as well. My friend, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for coming.
It's a pleasure talking to you.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. And next time, if you're here in person, you'll be able to see his keynote in person, which was really fantastic. Thanks so much. Have a fantastic day. We are RLA at IDX TV. Cheers.